Hey everybody, this is Josh from Rennline, and today we're going to be installing our DH45 RS door pulls. Here we have all the hardware, and we're going to today be installing the driver's side of the car. The installation is exactly the same on the passenger side. This is the hardware that comes with the kit, as well as the door card and the armrest. The passenger side is also included with the kit. As I go through each part, I'll be referring to the last three numbers on the parts diagram. For our first step, we're going to want to remove the factory door card. Each car is a little bit different depending on options, for example, the speakers or the windows. And for the driver's side, we have the driver's side bracket shown here. And then we're going to use two 120 nuts and two 537 screws. So we're going to take the driver's side bracket and we're going to locate holes right here and right here. And we're going to take the screw, put it through the bracket, put it through the body of the car, and put the nut on the back side to fasten it down. And you're gonna do that for both screws. I'm gonna tighten it down with a 7/16 wrench and a 5/32 Allen head key. And for our next step, we're gonna prepare the door for the options equipped with the car. And on the back side, you'll notice there's little imprints for each option equipped with the car. So up here are your panel switches. Here's your crank windows. Down on the bottom, you have an imprint for your speaker cutout. You have your locking door tray. And as well, there's gonna be 4 little screws right here for the hinges for the pocket for the door card. For this application, we're gonna be cutting out the power windows and the crank lock. But for the other accessories like the speaker and the crank up windows, the process is the same. For starters, there's gonna be 2 1/4-inch holes located right here, and this is gonna be for the bracket. You'll need to drill these out. I'm using a 1/4-inch bit. Secondly, there's 4 1/8-inch holes that you also have to drill out for the hinges. For cutting these impressions out, I like to use a really sharp razor blade. The idea is the sharper the blade, the easier it's going to cut, the more round you can make it. The car has shrouds that will cover up any jagged edges, but you would want to do your best to cut as clean as possible. You can continue to use a knife to cut the rest of the imprint out. What also works out really well is a set of tin shears on some of the larger holes like this one or the speaker. Next, we're going to use a knife to cut these power windows switches out. Now that you've removed the inserts, we're gonna want to install the hinges onto the door pockets. So we're gonna need parts A52, 025, 173, and 115. Put the hinges on in this orientation. You want to put your screw through the hinge, through the pocket, and then you're gonna want to do a washer and nut on the inside. So now that we've got the hinges on the pocket, we're gonna apply the magnets. Be careful, these are very magnetic. We're gonna take these by peeling off the back adhesive. And we're gonna place them right here and right here in these little pockets. Next, we're gonna be installing the door pocket onto the door card. To do this, we're going to use the same screws as we did in the previous step, go through the hinges, through the door card, and then you're going to use a washer and nut on the other side. Now that we've installed the door pocket, we're going to go back to the car and install the strap. To install the door pull, you're going to locate the door release right here, and you're going to put this screw through here, through the door pull, and there's going to be a nut and the washer on the bottom, and you're going to tighten and compress everything together. This is a tricky step, but just take your time. Next, we're gonna install the body grommets. The grommets go in these 4 locations. Now it's time to install the door card. I have all the hardware placed on the bench so it's easy to see where each screw goes. On these 4 outside screws, we're gonna use these screws that will screw right into the grommets that we just installed. On the bottom 3 locations, we're gonna be using this screw to screw into the body of the door. For the pocket, we're gonna use these 2 screws that are gonna go through these 2 holes that you just drilled into the rivets on the bracket we installed earlier. To put the door card on, I like to start by placing it up. It can be helpful to pull some of the wires through right off the bat. And I like to start with the door lock because it kind of acts as an anchor point for the door card so it can move still. Now the trick is to don't go tight with anything on the door card yet, so we can do a final tighten at the end and have everything properly aligned. Our next step is to put the armrest on. You want to take these screws, put them through here, lift the door card up, and line up with the rib nuts. Next, I'm going to put the perimeter screws on. The ones with the coarse threads go on each of the holes that you have the grommets on. Next, you want to use the machine screws and hit these 4 points. Sometimes the alignment can be tricky on these because there is a slotted piece of metal that can move in different directions. It can be helpful if you get a pick and you can put it inside the hole and line it up. Now that we have the perimeter screws in, I'm gonna put the switches back in. Now that we have everything on, we're gonna put the pocket in place. This is still loose, so we're gonna pull the strap through both pieces, and there's this little latch. And since the screws are still loose, you can slide it past just like that. Then you'll take your Allen key, reach in through the space, tighten everything up. So now you have a working door handle and a drop-down pocket. For our next step, this is an option, but you can put this factory trim piece back in and tie everything together. And you're done. You have a great new looking door card, and if you like products like this, you want to check out more, check out Rennline.com.